Hello friends, this video on human health and diseases part 20 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. So with this we have discussed about AIDS. Now let us talk about another deadly disease, that is cancer, which again doesn't have a complete cure. However, for some of the cancer, if detected early, it has a cure, but for many of them there is no cure. And this is not an infectious disease, so basically there is not too many prevention which can be followed, but still there are few. So let us talk about cancer. So what is cancer? It is nothing but abnormal, uncontrolled growth of cells. Now sometimes what happens, normally what happens, a cell grows, it divides, it forms new cells, then it differentiates to form tissues, and then finally towards the end the cell dies. So that is how the cycle of a normal cell is. But in case of the cancerous cells, what happens is they keep on growing uncontrollably. So they always keep on growing, they just grow and divide, that's all. So as a result, what happens? A lot of extra cells get generated. And where do those extra cells go? They are seen in the form of tumors inside the body. Now when these tumors start to spread uncontrollably throughout the body, so what happens? That can even lead to death of a person. Because when so many tumors get accumulated at different parts of the body, they start interfering with the normal functioning of the body. It is something like this. Let us suppose the road through which you travel, it is, say, quite a wide road. Now let us suppose suddenly a big stone is being placed in between the road. What will happen? The traffic will still be able to continue because it is just a portion of the road which is being blocked. But now let us suppose that the stone which is lying at the middle of the road, it keeps on growing and it increases in size. It becomes so huge that it blocks the entire road completely. Now the traffic is not able to flow through that road. The cars or the vehicles cannot travel through that road. So what will happen? That will disturb the entire traffic, right? So the similar thing happens inside our body as well. Now when there are so many unwanted group of cells located at different parts of the body, the normal functioning of the body gets affected. And in this scenario, this situation can become fatal and that causes death. So the question is, how is cancer caused? What causes cancer? Now, the damaged cells which I was talking about, they divide to form new cells and which appear in the form of lumps of tissue, and these tissues are called tumors. These lumps of tissues are rather called tumors. Now, these tumors are of two types, benign tumors and malignant tumors. So, benign tumors are those which relatively are located or they are confined to one particular place. So they do not spread to different parts of the body. Whereas malignant tumors are those which tend to spread very rapidly from one part to other part of the body. So malignant tumors are those which are actually harmful and they can lead to death. But benign tumors are comparatively less harmful, and the option of getting rid of benign tumors is that they can just be surgically removed, that's all. The fear of it spreading to different parts of the body is very less. But in case of malignant tumor, the sooner you detect, the better it is, because otherwise it will spread to different organs and it will destroy the entire body. So benign tumors have limited growth, they do not spread to other parts of the body. Whereas malignant tumors have unlimited growth. They keep on growing and dividing. So the simple rule that they follow is that grow and divide. That's all. They rapidly spread to other parts of the body through blood and lymph. So once they reach to the blood, they can actually reach the entire body. So that means it can immediately cause harm to the entire body. So cancer, the word cancer is often known as malignancy. So this malignancy is derived from the word malignant tumor. So cancer and malignancy are used as synonyms to each other. So from just one cell in malignant tumors, you actually get a lot of cancerous cells. So malignant tumors interfere with the functioning of the body systems. Now the process in which malignant tumors spread grow and destroy healthy tissues is known as metastasis. This is very important. This is the process which actually kills an individual because of cancer. This is the reason why cancer kills an individual, because these malignant tumors, their simple rule is to grow and divide. So they keep on dividing, and at the same time they will also destroy the other healthy tissues. So as a result, what will happen? The body will get spoiled over a period of time and the person will die. So this process of spreading and growing is known as metastasis. Different types of cancer exists. Now, based on which part of the body has been affected, there are many different types of cancer. So more than 100 types of cancer exist depending upon the type of cell that is initially impacted. Now, as I said, this process will start from one cell. There might be one cell which will turn cancerous. Now, how that cell turns cancerous, we will see that in the next slide. So there will be this one cell which will turn cancerous, and then that cell will keep on continuously dividing. So more and more cells will be formed, and gradually it will start spoiling the healthy tissues as well. Now, depending upon where that first cell from where the infection started is located, there are many different types of cancers like breast cancer, lung cancer, blood cancer, mouth cancer. So when you say lung cancer, it means that the beginning happened in the lungs. So from lungs, then it gradually spread to different parts of the respiratory system. From respiratory system, then it gradually started spreading to other organ systems of the body and so on. Similarly, if it is a breast cancer, that means the first uncontrolled division started in the breast cells, that is the breast tissue cells. Now, that is why you would have often seen that one important thing, as far as we will discuss about the treatment part, but one common thing that needs to be done is if a patient needs to be survived, in that case it is very important that the part of the body from where the process was initiated, that part has to be completely removed from the body. Only then there are fair chances of survival, and that is why it has been observed that patients with breast cancer often have a greater survival rate. That is because breasts can be easily removed from the body of a female. Females have higher risks of breast cancer. Breasts can be easily removed from the body of the female because they do not perform a very important role in the body. Now, except during pregnancy. So otherwise they do not perform a very important role. So if the breasts are removed from the body, so at least that portion and the surrounding where this process initiated is removed. So the chances of survival is more. But in case of lung cancer or liver cancer or stomach cancer, you just cannot remove those organs because they are the vital organs of the body. And if you cannot remove those organs, even if you remove the tumors, there will be some or the other trace remaining in the surrounding of that organ. So the chances of recurrence are more in those types of cancers. Now, based on these, there are more than 100 types of cancer depending on where the entire thing started. Now the question is, who transforms a normal cell into a cancerous cell? So is there a magician who will suddenly transform one cell into a cancerous cell, and then that cell will start dividing uncontrollably? So how does this transformation take place? So that is the question the answer to this question was not found for quite a long time. Now, why don't we have cure for cancer? I mean, complete cure. That's because for a long time the cause of cancer itself was not known. Even now it is known, but not the nitty-gritties of it is known. And that is why first you have to know the cause, and only then you can find out a solution to it. However, now many drugs have come into picture, and there are many patients who are actually cancer survivors. However, there are certain types of cancers which cannot be handled even now, and a lot of research is still going on in the field. So now when we talk about the cause of cancer, there comes into picture the carcinogens. Now carcinogens are the agents. The magician which I was talking about, he is not actually a magician, but that magician is an agent which cause cancer, and those agents are known as carcinogens. So carcinogens are the cancer causing agents. So let us see what sort of agents are carcinogens. So let us see what sort of agents are these carcinogens. So these can be physical, chemical or biological agents that can transform a normal cell into cancerous cell. So these are called carcinogens. Now let us look at some of the examples, then we'll get to know what do we mean by physical, chemical or biological agents. Some of the examples would be X-rays. Now X-rays can actually turn a normal cell into cancerous cell. So X-ray has that capability. So this is an example of physical agent because it physically transforms the cell into cancerous cell. Gamma rays again is an example of a physical agent or a physical carcinogen. UV radiation, these are all examples of all sorts of radiation which can turn a normal cell into cancerous cell. They are all examples of physical carcinogens. Next is tobacco, which is present in cigarettes and often it is chewed also directly. So this can also cause cancer because tobacco has a substance called nicotine in it, and this nicotine can cause oral cancer, that is mouth cancer, as well as lung cancer. So these chemicals also have the property to transform a normal cell into cancerous cell. Oncogenic viruses. There are certain viruses which have cancer causing genes. Now these genes can actually turn normal cells into cancerous cells. Now what do we mean by a normal cell and a cancerous cell? I hope by now you understand that a normal cell is one which will follow a normal cell cycle where the cell will grow, it will divide, it will differentiate, and again at the end it will die. But a cancerous cell is one which will just grow and divide uncontrollably and continuously. So that is a cancerous cell. So it will never stop dividing. So these are the various carcinogens which can cause cancer. So all that can be done is, now since cancer is not an infectious disease, so it doesn't spread from one person to another. So all that we can do to avoid having cancer is that you can just avoid all of these carcinogens. You can quit smoking, you can quit chewing tobacco, you can avoid these kind of unnecessary exposure to radiation. So all these things can be done just to avoid cancer, but still since cancer has a lot to do with the genes as well, so at certain times it is genetic as well, because the genes of a person resembles to the genes of their parents or grandparents. Now if there are some faulty genes already present which have the ability to turn cancerous under certain situations, then you really can't help it, because in that case it might happen anytime. So except for those scenarios, at least these carcinogens wherever possible can be avoided. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com for an easy 4-step learning process absolutely free of cost. Watch video lessons, ask questions, refer notes, and take an online test. Thank you once again.